So today we're making up our bore water and rainwater headers. I'm just pulling out the connections on a piece of 32mm copper tube. So we just make the pilot hole, and then we've got the pull-in tool's got various settings depending on how big the hole needs to be according to the tool you're using. So I'm going to use a 16, I've got a 22, use a 16mm puller, and I've set that to 16, so we'll just make the hole a little bit bigger. That's prescribed size hole. And we get this puller, and put that in the hole, like that. Just tighten it up. Okay, so that's nice and tight, so let me just get the ratchet on it. Just wind it back out. So I'm winding it out, it just pulls the copper out so that we can got something to braze onto. It makes the joint a lot stronger. So it's a lot cheaper than buying the ready-made factory tee. And also, okay, so that's it, come out. So that's the hole. And then what I've done, I've taken these brass nipples and I've just cut them in half, like so. So I'll put the pipe in there and I'll braze that. And then I'll put the pipe in here. Probably make this a little bit bigger. Put that in there, and we'll braze that as well. So that'll be brazed, that'll be brazed, and then we'll take a ball valve and we'll wind the ball valve on the end of that. So that'll be like that, on or off, whatever you like. Off, so it'll sit up like this, that'll be brazed onto there, and that'll sit like so, all the way down. So I've got obviously the cold feed to the boiler, the cold feed to the rest of the house, and I've got various other things, like I've got my taps, so I can choose in my kitchen whether I have bore water or rainwater. Then I've got the outside taps, which I can choose to have bore water, rainwater, and I've got the laundries, which I can also choose to have bore water, rainwater. So we're trying to conserve rainwater during the months of summer, so it lasts. So in other words, I'll have rainwater doing the outside taps all the time because plants don't like the high alkalinity of the bore water. So by having choices, in the summer I can decide whether I want to have rainwater to say, showers, or I want bore water to the showers. It depends how much I've got left, you see. So, and also, obviously it's better for cooking, is for bore water, I think anyway, better than rainwater. So there's a few pros and cons, depends how you look at it, but anyway, something to mess around with. We've only got 25,000 litres of rainwater, so that's why we're doing this. So I've got these two, I've got two of them. One's rainwater. They're going to sit in my plant room. So they're going to sit up here like this, with the valves coming off them, and they're all going to shoot up into the roof, and then I've got everything plumbed in, and they obviously just come back down. So these are my incoming mains, my tanks. So I've got two pumps And I've got 2 tanks, so we can choose whichever one we want. And these are just 10-inch jumbo filters, which will have a 5 micron filter in, nothing too small. Just take out the sediment if you get any. And yeah, so let's get into the brazing. So getting these ready for brazing, I've got a brick. Don't use blocks because they could explode. Bricks are fire, it means to say that they've been through a furnace, therefore you can take a lot of heat off a block, off a brick. And I'm also using an LPG oxygen setup, which is a lot cheaper than using oxyacetylene. So if you use acetylene, it's a lot more expensive. I get about 5 bottles of oxygen to 1 9-kilogram LPG. That's a 2 cubic meter bottle of oxygen there. And I'm also using oxyacetylene hose, because I started on oxyacetylene. I gave it up about 30 years ago. And contrary to popular belief, BOC will tell you, the LPG doesn't degrade the acetylene hose, which is the red one. It's been fine, nothing wrong with it. I'm using it for years. And also the tip. Now, if you're using the proper tip, it would be like a number 20, which would be like right up here. It's huge. So what I'll do is I'll buy a number 6 tip, which is small, meant for oxyacetylene, and I'll drill it out to make a bigger hole, because obviously the gas isn't so, it doesn't burn as hot or as viciously as oxyacetylene, but it does burn far in excess enough to melt all that brass and copper with LPG. So I drill out 3 mil hole, and I've got a very short tip that I can use, which is easy to use. So let's fire up the gas. I'll just say that we're using a flux here. This is an easy weld flux. It's because we're using a joint between brass and copper, and there's an oxidization that can occur with the brass, you see. So without using copper to copper, I don't use the flux. I just put them straight together and braze them as they go. But because we've got brass, we need flux, and I'm using Cibroy, which is not as much silver as Silphos. So Silphos got a lot more silver in it as a brazing rod, but it costs about 5 times the price. So this flows very well without all that silver in it, and I find it just as good. So nothing wrong with that. So I'll just fire up the gas, just turn on the LPG a little bit. And don't use a lighter, you'll burn your fingers off. So just turn that down a little bit, add in some oxygen. And we can wind the flame up now because we've got the oxygen in there. We won't blow it out. Nice hot flame. Bit of flux. Just like that. So let it cool down a little bit before you start touching it, else you'll break you'll crack the joint. And you can see it's just gone off a little bit, that's fine. Just grab it, put it in a quench, just put it in the water. And there we have it. There's your finished product, ready to go onto the stick. One done. Just braze these now into the main body of the header. What I'll do is I'll just push them in. They're a little bit too tight, we can always open them up a bit. They're a bit too loose, we can always close them down a bit. So stuff like that, we just get this expander, give it a bit of a go around. less. I'll just do 2 for now. And then just make sure they're more or less straight. And also, just look down the pipe, make sure they're not coming into the body of the pipe. So that one's a little bit too far in. That's a little bit too far in. Let's pull that one out a bit. Just look down that pipe. I'll just hold it to the light. There you go. Hold it up to the light to see anything. So if you look down the pipe, you can see there's no obstruction in the bore. That's what we're looking for. So maximum penetration of the joint, but we don't want it sitting out into the pipe in any way. Okay. So of course when they're brazed, we can always move them around because it gets very flexible because it anneals all the copper around where it gets hot. It just becomes annealed and very soft. So it's easy to move them wherever you want without breaking the joint. So this time I'm not going to use any flux. Put that away for the moment. And then I'll just get back onto my blowtorch. So here's my sparker. I say better off not using a lighter because you probably burn your fingers doing it. Just make sure that one's okay. Oops. Just put my spanner onto that to hold it. That's it. Not going to go anywhere. Wind the flame up again, just be careful it doesn't blow out. Nothing too great this time. Yeah, I'm just going to put the rest in slowly. I just like to make sure I've got enough filler rod just to fill up the holes there, but otherwise that's all good. So I'll just carry on with the rest of it. So at last I've got the whole thing assembled. A bit overkill to say the least, but there you go. That's it all put together with the 2 filters in position. So we've got rainwater and we've got bore water. And these here, so we've got, this is for the hot water cylinder, that's for the showers and the washhand basins. This is for the outside taps. That one is for the minor unit. That one is for the minor unit laundry and the laundry in here. And this is for the tap in the kitchen, my main kitchen, and my other tap in my main kitchen. So I can choose whatever I want. Generally though, all these would have to be like that one would have to be off, and that would have to be on. It doesn't really matter because both pumps are at the same level, set to the same pressure, and both are identical. So you should have an equal pressure. So one shouldn't push the other one. So it should just, but it's best just to turn one off. So you can see here, you're gonna have one on, one off, one on, one off, like this. And when you want to change it from the bore water, which is this one, to the rainwater, which is this one, you just close that and open that. And preferably all of these four will be the same because they go through mixers. So we don't want really both pumps pushing the mixers. So if we have a shutdown, of course, we can shut one tank down completely and use the other one, so not a problem. I'll just turn these off now because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the feeds going to go up here. All the cold feeds are going to shoot up there, and then we've got this for the cylinder which will sit here. And then basically it'll take all the load of the cold water off, so you should have really good pressure throughout the house because we've got a lot of separate connections. The only thing the hot's doing, of course, is the sinks and the wash hand basins and the showers, that's it. So I'll run that in 25mm. I've got it at the moment in 20mm, but just to avoid pressure friction loss, I'll run it one size bigger. So anyway, I've made the connection and this is all now live. So I'll just turn this on. So that's my water. So that's that. Let's turn that one off. So bore water pressure, as you can see, it's quite good. I can't read that from here. So that is on 500 kPa. So that's not bad pressure, considering. Okay. So if we turn that on, we've got some water. So we'll just vent them out. Vent them all out. So that's full up, nice and dry, thank God, no leaks, touch wood. So now I'll do the same with the rainwater tank. So turn that on, turn that on. These are just there so you can take this off with no problems and just change the filter. Nice and easy. So we'll do the same. This one is, that one's also running exactly the same pressure. So that's all good. That one's okay. There's the top one. Oh, God. Right, so they're all full of water. They're all under pressure. So all we've got to do now is put the plumbing in the rest of the house.